On a day off from working in Nevada, I went to Utah and Zion National Park. I wasn't able to identify this guy, but I think it was some kind of flycatcher. I took my mom along with me and we spotted this jay. And then we went to Lake Mead Recreation Area.
And then past that, it goes down, back up to that road and then drive around.
These guys weren't terribly wild, but they were too cute to resist. Back on the job, I was out on the pipeline. This scar of a swath across the desert. This empty trench is waiting for pipe to be laid down. Those people in the distance are monitoring for tortoises. This is pipe that's partially in the ground, partially waiting to be installed. These trucks deploy water to prevent dust from this road once it dries out. The drawbacks to my job are the unpleasantries in the landscape. But the bonuses are the wildlife I got to see. These California quail were really a highlight of my job. A wetland in Nevada is very different than a wetland in New Hampshire, and sure enough they had them there. This oriole is catching a bug on a willow tree in these wetlands, and it was crazy to have a stream in the middle of the desert. As with all wetlands, they were utilized for crop growth.
The attorneys say that he can't be held liable.
Alfalfa is a low demand, low yield product that does well when watered properly. I thought this field summed up the West so well, with the dry shrublands in the background and water pumping continuously in the lowlands here. Desert tortoise didn't always survive the right away, but these turkey vultures were always here to pick up the slack. The cycle of life forcibly goes on. This greater roadrunner and turkey vulture, I don't think even saw each other until the last second. The roadrunner didn't want the carcass, just happened upon each other. These are treetops in a valley called the Hidden Valley. These are the wetlands. You can see that these are prodigious plants in a very steep gradient. That's why these warnings are here, because when it floods, the water doesn't have much sides it can climb out of. Here, when it's dry, is where the bunnies, or rabbits, cottontail rabbits, dig up plants that are very rich in nutrients that has settled out of the water to the bottom. This cottontail baby is working the hedgerow. Very active for the desert. Here's our friend the roadrunner again. They occur in quite a good number here. I saw maybe 10 or 15 of them. Lagomorphs. They're not exactly rodents, and they're very skittish, but they're continually working, not so much in the heat or the dead of night, but more in a crepuscular fashion, dawn and dusk, although they will work into the dark, searching for salt, potassium, iron, whatever else is available in the roots of these plants, or, in this case, the surface of the road. This one's cuts out of its ears show it's been beat up and might be a bit of a subordinate. Very productive wetland, even in the midst of the desert. Back in the shrublands, there's a hare. Can you see it? How about now? There he is. Actually a black-tailed jackrabbit. These guys usually come in pairs, as seen here, hanging out in the shade of a creosote shrub bush. Also very skittish. They're bigger than their cottontail cousin by about double, and very distinctive black tails separate them out from the white of the cottontails. They survive much better in the dry shrublands surrounding the wetlands, and also don't occur in as great a concentration or numbers. Here a pair of doves is feeding. Foraging. Insects and the like. When you're living and working out here, it's amazing how much wildlife you find, like this antelope ground squirrel. And it's amazing how hard it is to capture this, because honestly there's far more antelope ground squirrels than there were black-tailed jackrabbits. These guys were so much more skittish and hard to videotape that it would appear as if they were far less common. I like this shot particularly because it shows him inspecting the bean for ripeness, debating whether or not to eat it, crack it open. They're very systematic in the way they work over the whole plant, searching for the perfectly edible one. And of course, out here, there are the lizards. I found these trails and they were particularly fascinating to me because it seemed like there were at least 3 distinct different species. This is a zebra-tail lizard, and this guy trying to hide is a horned lizard. This is a desert iguana. And more tracks. And they hide so well. This guy was quite hard to spot. The magnitude of the desert is inexplicable. Long and straight and fast, you can drive the highways and still see the same thing. And of course, there are features like a dry lake bed. What a place it is.